Welcome back, trainers. So this is going to be our second Kingdom Cup tournament, going up against Bone Chip for my first round. What do you know? Of course. So I'm going to be going here with all of the meta-relevant Pokemon to some degree. Lapras is pretty good as well. So I did start it off with Lucario. He went in there with Blaziken, and now we've both switched out here. I'm in a decent position. Body Slam is going to be doing a good amount of damage to me. Powdered Snow is not going to really be doing much. I do have that Dragon Pulse, which I can hit it with neutral damage, doing a good amount. And I'm sitting pretty comfortable here. What I wanted him to do at this point was use a shield, which he did just now. I was like, okay, that's perfect. Now I don't have to use a shield on my end. I can go in here with Bastiodon or Lucario and put in some work against that Ice type. So we do go ahead and go in here with Bastiodon, seeing that Body Slam isn't going to really be doing much whatsoever. If it did have Water Pulse, then it would be hurting a little bit. He does go in there with Blaziken, and I'm just going to shield this up, seeing that it does have Focus Blast, and that would have been a complete one-shot there. I was sitting in a pretty good position with one shield left here. He does come in with the Dragonair. We're just going to go ahead and hit up that Stone Edge because, well, Fire type is not going to be very effective. And we're going to let him just take us out at this point. And go in here with Lucario. We have that Power Up Punch ready to go with some energy, half health, and we finish it off with one shield left. That's going to be a good game. And we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one here. And you have to give him credit too, because he wasn't using top meta Pokemon. He kind of picked things that were a little bit off the radar. So he did start it off with Blaziken. He did switch into the Celio, and we're just gonna hold steady as it is right here. I did try to switch right at the last second there. It did not let me. I wasn't gonna burn a shield. Just gonna let him Body Slam me. He is going to be hitting up with Body Slam. I do switch into the Bastiodon. It's doing barely any damage. Same with the Powdered Snow there. We're not going to use a shield here. He hits us up with Water Pulse, but the Bastiodon is so crazy defensive that it just tanks through it. He's getting off one last Body Slam before it goes down. And we're in that position with the Bastiodon where you don't need to use a charge. Same with, say, if you go up against an Altaria, you just hold it for the next Pokemon. There's no need to, because you can just finish it off with Smackdown. So we are able to get to a second Flamethrower fairly quick with that stored energy. We're going to shield this up because I wasn't sure if he was going to hit me up with an Earthquake or not, if he had it on his Steelix. He does go for a Crunch, so it's alright. We can still keep moving along here, and I wasn't too sure yet again, so Crunch. I think he might have Heavy Slam for his secondary move. That's why he was going for that neutral crunch damage. In comes the Blaziken. Down goes the Bastiodon. I'll go in there with my Lapras. With a bit of stored energy, I do decide to shield up here because we're able to get off that Surf. And we do have a secondary Pokemon behind here. And he shields that up, taking me out. I go in with Lucario, and that's a good game. So thank you very much, Bone Chip, for those battles. And I think that's one of the few times I won against him. So good games there. Now going up against another rising star here, we have Grinshot Don. Now, let me tell you, my shield game was completely off with him. First of all, I shield up that first Power Punch, which was not necessary. I analyzed these battles about 3 times just to see where I could have went better, done something different. And basically, my plays were okay. It's just my shield game was off completely. And his lineups were just, on point, basically. So at this point, all right, so we have Steelix versus the Bastiodon. Was able to get to that Flamethrower here, and we're going to go ahead and hit it up. He does like to hold his shields, which is very smart because he's in a very comfortable position. He knows what he's doing here. Hits me up with Earthquake and almost one-shotting me there. I had no more shields left. Go in with the Lucario, and doesn't have much health left. He does have the shield to block it. And it doesn't really matter if I was even able to get off another Power-Up Punch and take that Steelix out because he had another Pokemon in the back there. So, good game there. Moving on to the next one here. Let's see what we have going on. And like I said, the first match, my shield game was off. I think I was just thinking about Adventures Endgame, or I don't know. It was good. It was really good battles. So I'm looking forward to the Nightmare Cup for sure. I'm pretty much done with the Kingdom. I may do some here and there, but yeah, it's pretty much over. See, what happens is I feel like they needed to ban Pokemon for every cup. Specifically, Bastiodon and Lucario are just nuts. Yeah. So anyways, what do we have going on here? Now I have the Marowak. He has the Lapras out there hitting me up with Surf. I did decide to let that go through. I didn't want to use up all of my shields quite yet. We do go in with the Bastiodon doing a great amount of damage with that Smackdown there. And he's going to be hitting us up with Surf. And of course it can take it. And we do have our charges ready to go for the next Pokemon, Lucario. I don't know, that was a bad play. So I switch, use a shield, and just go down. Do you see where I'm coming from on the shield game? And that switch was horrible. Same with the Marowak switch into I don't know what I was doing. That's another good game there. Moving it on to the next one here, we have Scarlet Witch, the one and only. Starting it off with Lucario, she's going in there with a non-meta Pokemon. It's going to be Alolan Sandslash. Extremely weak to fighting, so that's all about that rock, paper, scissors in the beginning, guys, right? Rock, paper, scissors. If you get matched up with a horrible Pokemon that is going to just completely counter yours in the beginning, you know, it's not completely a game over for you, but it's going to be definitely hard for you to pull that win up for sure. Just because these matches go by so quick, and especially if you're, you know, Alolan Sandslash, extremely weak to fighting, but not even that specific situation, a lot of other ones as well. It's just hard to pull it back, all right? So you have to make your first entry Pokemon very wisely, or just get lucky and they just pick the wrong matchup with you. Anyways, the commentary, sorry, but it's clear here. We go in the Lapras. When I do Lapras versus Lapras, I love it because not a lot of people have that Legacy Dragon Pulse. Therefore, Ice Beam or Surf, it's not going to be doing much while I'm going to be hitting them with super effect or neutral damage with my Dragon Pulse, so it's always comfortable. That's a good game there. Now we'll do full commentary. Shelgon, pretty good, right? This is going to be a great Lucario counter for sure. It does have Twister, so we'll be able to hit dragons pretty hard continuously with that charge move, as well as Flamethrower. So that's a pretty good one. I don't see too many people using it, but it is definitely a good option. She did let that Shadow Ball go through, which did a lot of damage there. In comes the Altaria, and I do decide to not switch. And another thing, if you're thinking to yourself, why isn't he switching in specific spots, not more so for this battle, but for the other ones, it's just I don't like making the first switch, because once you do that, you're locked in there, all right? And they can play with you whatever they want to do. They got you in a corner. Anyways, I do have the Bastiodon, and like we said, in this situation, you don't use your charges unless you have a little bit of health on your Bastiodon and you want it to survive. They have no more shields, or you want to burn their shield. I suppose you can go for Stone Edge, but for the most part, you're going to smack down all the way. And if you're going up against another Bastiodon, you're going to be doing Flamethrower, all right? Don't do Stone Edge, just Flamethrower all the way through. So we do have 2 shields, I think, at this point. Hitting it up with Flamethrower. Do we have 2 shields? Yeah. And that Bastiodon. So if I didn't have something to counter this, it could have been big trouble. Even if I had an Altaria or whatever else, but Lucario put it in work. So you know how it goes. Good game, Scarlet there. And moving into the next one here, we have 907 Filling Kids. All right, starting it off with the Alolan Marowak. He's going in there with the Malaysia Kids. So this is a great matchup for us. We're going to go ahead and go for that Bone Club, possibly shield baiting, which we did. Perfect. I do decide to let this go through because I knew Brave Bird, I can take it, and I can get to that Shadow Ball if I wanted to. So let's go ahead and see if he's going to use 2 shields in a row. He doesn't, which is fantastic. All right. And we're just waiting for him to decide. Coming in with the Flygon. Now, this is a bit troublesome. Was getting a little greedy there. Wanted to go for Shadow Ball. Could have done a little damage or shield baited at least with Bone Club. That's all right. Going in with the Altaria. Does have Dragon Claw. That's a bit troublesome for my Altaria because with Flygon, it can spam the heck out of Dragon Claw, like over and over and over. As you can see, look at this. And it will tear into your Altaria. So took him out there, thank goodness. Stored up that energy. So we're going to go ahead and burn that last shield there. Lucario is taking me out. A little bit worried here because it does have stored energy. So power up punch, not too sure when it's going to be able to get off that next one. And I'm able to finish it off there. So that's going to be a good game there. Moving on to the next one here, starting it off with Lapras, and like we went over before, love this combination because of that magnificent Legacy Dragon Pulse. So we don't have to use any shields, and we can possibly burn theirs. So the goal here, since the Kingdom Cup is over, and might as well tell you, when I'm going up against another Lapras, basically, I just want them to burn a shield. If they do at that point, we're comfortable. If they don't burn a shield, it's not looking too great. It's not horrible either, but that's the whole goal. And there it was. Once they realize I have the Dragon Pulse, when they know that second one is coming, they will feel like they usually shield most of the time, right? So we're looking great. They're down a shield. We're down a Pokemon, but that's okay because we are going in here, and now they're down a Pokemon and a shield. All right, so we're going to be switching into our Lucario. He is going to be switching into Altaria. Ooh, so we're going to have to go for that Shadow Ball. And let's see if he shields. He lets it go through, and we're looking fantastic, all right? So what would have happened is if he did take out my Lucario, say he did shield up that Power Up Punch, I would have been able to go in with my Bastiodon and then just smack down. And then once his Lucario came in, he would have no more shields left. Granted, hopefully he used one. Then I would just be able to Flamethrower there. So that's a good game, and thank you for those battles. Moving on to the next, this is going to be the final one, up against Grinshot again. No! Let's go. Oh, man. I keep getting horrible start matchups. No excuses, no discrediting to him. Just saying. Oh, that rock, paper, scissors. I keep getting the horrible matchups. Starting off with Lucario, he's going in there with Altaria. He's in a great position here. And like I said, I don't like to do the switch. If my Lapras, say, had an ice quick move, then yeah, I would feel more comfortable. But he's just going to switch and counter me at that point. And he's not switching either because he's like, haha, water gun, let's go. All right. And so, yeah, he's just staying in the fight here. And he's able to get off that Sky Attack, taking off over half health on my Lapras. And he was still on his first Pokemon. We're not looking good at all, right? So in comes Lucario. It's just going to do work with that counter. And then we're bringing in our Lucario with one shield, guys. You see where this is going. Yeah, this guy, he's got it down, all right? So in comes the Steelix. And my shield game was off, guys. I don't know what I was doing. I was out of it. And he does take that win there. So good game. On to the next and final match. What do we have going on? Starting off with Altaria. And he's going in with the Bronzong. Just completely threw me off. I had a feeling he would have started with this. This is not a horrible matchup. Because he's only going to be able... Well, he can get to two flash cannons. But... so he gets to the first one here. Already knew that was coming. He's going to do a lot of damage. So I do shield that up. And let's see, he's going to be able to get to another one here. And if this is a good indication, if he shields, that means he's going to probably get to another charge or thinks he can. So yes, that was the case there. And he's able to finish me off. We are down a shield and a Pokemon now. He is too, so it's about even. He's going to be able to make the counter choice though. So he is going in with Lucario, and if I do switch, he will be able to counter whatever I bring in possibly. I am going to be shielding up that Power Up Punch. And if you're wondering, well, you don't shield the first one. Well, there was no room to not shield at this point, guys. I had to block that Power Up Punch. So yeah, you can see this isn't looking too great unless he comes in with, no, it's Altaria, and it's game over. So hope to enjoy those battles, and good games to all of the people who attended. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at where we placed here. So we have Grinshot taking number 1. Like I said in that couple videos back going over the leaderboards, and when we seen him, if he attended more, he probably would have been ahead of me. So as you can see, clearly he is very skillful in PvP. So shout out to you, man. Great job. And we are building up our friendship, so we will be able to bring you practice battles between me and him, as well as more battles between Bone Chip and I. So look forward to that. That should be pretty fun, as well as other YouTubers. So been doing a lot of that. Tell me how you've been feeling about those. It's pretty fun collaborating with them. I know I don't do the most interesting editing and stuff like that. It's just kind of raw, straight to the point battles. That's just what I do over here, right? Anyways, he's taking number 1, and we have OMG Kesha number 2. Congratulations, first time placing, very nice, as well as Cooper Copper, very good. Happy to see fresh new people at the top here. So it's pretty interesting. Then we have myself in 4th place. Yow, down we go. Then we have Elliegantly in 5th. Very good, very nice. Villain Kids, Ambermometer, Scarlet Witch. So as you can see, the tides have turned. But I have to give Bone Chip one more shout out. He went in with meta relevant Pokemon too much, right? He took a risk. He challenged himself, and I really respect that, right? And like I also said in the beginning, Lucario, Bastiodon. It's just, they're insane, right? Number 1 player at the top for this tournament didn't use Bastiodon, and he, as a matter of fact, had counters. He just had counters ready for that specific Pokemon, as well as Lucario, which I commend as well, going in there like that. Very nice. So shout out to all of the people who attended. Thank you for all the battles there. It was some good times, and I look forward to the next Nightmare Cup, and that one I feel is going to be fantastic. There's not Pokemon that are going to be overpowered for sure. There's a few really good ones, and you can get your Toxicroak absolutely destroyed, as well as several other Pokemon too, depending on the matchups. But there's nothing that's going to be dominating super hard. You have Xatu, which is fantastic, but you also have plenty of Ghost type, dual type Pokemon that will be in here as well, like Spiritomb, that can just completely annihilate it. So there is that to think of. And here we have a group picture of all the contenders, as well as the place winners there. So in the middle with the red hat, that's going to be Grinshot. And then to the right, we have OMG Kesha. And there you go, a face to the name, because you do see him, from time to time on my channel. And then we have Cooper Copper to the left. So we have 2 new placers there, which is, like I said, it's refreshing to see some new people up at the top there. So yeah, once again, shout out to everybody who attended. Quite nice and good times. And there was no lag on my end. And there was a few times where I was going up against somebody and I think they were experiencing a little bit of lag. But I would always ask, hey, dude, would you like to restart? Because I know asking the other person, okay, can I restart? Can I restart over and over? Can get a little frustrating, especially if that other person is winning. You're like, oh, want to restart because you're probably losing, right? But that's not the case for most of the time, right? So I asked them, they said, no, it's okay, just continue on. I was like, all right, are you sure? Yeah, we'll just continue on. So, okay. So very good sports today. So good stuff. And of course, like usual, big shout out to Elliegantly for always putting together these amazing tournaments and going above and beyond for us, right? I really appreciate that, and so does the community, because if we didn't have her, I don't know who would be putting these together, right? So it's quite amazing. And if you're wondering, wow, you didn't perform too well this time, Poke, what's going on? Well, guys, sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose. At least I was able to get that awesome Team Rocket Moltres, right? I'm happy with that. With that said, trainers, thank you for watching. I'll catch you all next time.